Hugh Grant is beaming, and honestly, who wouldn't be with a stunning wife like Anna Eberstein by their side? The 64-year-old actor recently stepped out with his 23 years younger wife at premieres of his new movie, The Heretic, and they looked absolutely radiant together. Hugh and Anna really know how to bring their A game.
Do you have a favorite Hugh Grant film?
No, I do avoid them all.
For those of you wondering how Hugh went from Hollywood's ultimate bachelor to a doting husband and father, let's rewind. Before settling down, Hugh had his fair share of headline-worthy romances, but he finally met his match in Anna, a Swedish producer. The pair tied the knot in 2018 and now share 3 kids. And here's where it gets interesting. Hugh also has 2 children from a previous relationship with Tinglin Hong. That's 5 kids altogether, ranging from 6 to 13 years old. Pretty impressive for someone who only started having kids at 52, right? So, how does he juggle being married to a much younger wife and raising young children at 64?
Speaking of kids, you have 5.
We think.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. That's a lot of kids.
Yeah, I know. I went mad in my 50s.
Yeah.
Hugh himself admits the timing was a bit unconventional. Speaking on the Smartless podcast, he joked, "We think it's 5," when asked how many kids he has.
But I had them much too old in life. I started when I was 52. Yeah, now I'm 64, and the youngest is 6. And I need a long stint in a sanatorium or an abbey.
Classic Hugh, right? But becoming a dad later in life has also had its perks.
I was a dried-up, middle-aged, golf-addicted Englishman. Then I had children, and suddenly I had heart, and I think I had more layers or something.
Hugh might be poking fun, but it's clear fatherhood brought out a softer side we all love to see. On The Kelly Clarkson Show, Hugh gave us a hilarious peek into life with 5 kids. There's a lot to dread, he admitted.
I'm old and it's noisy and it's unbearable.
Yeah.
And I do a lot of hiding in the loo.
I'm like in the bathroom. There's a lock.
There's a lot, but they've pretty much broken it now.
Still, he's all in when it comes to parenting, sharing that he loves his youngest's chimpanzee hugs.
Oh. That's sweet. Yeah.
I've made myself cry.
Hugh's humor isn't just for the cameras, it's alive and well at home too. Back in 2018, he gave us a little glimpse into his life as a dad, telling people how much he loves making his kids laugh. And his methods? Let's just say they're unconventional.
Well, I think it's always amusing to put your underpants on your head. I know you like that, Jess.
Classic dad move, right? But it gets better. Hugh confessed that he used to moon one of his sons for laughs. Yes, you read that right.
I made the mistake of showing one of my sons my arse all the time. Hey, look at this. And then he got the habit and had taught every single child in West London to do the same.
Well, that's one way to leave a legacy. But it hasn't all been laughs and underpants on head moments. Balancing a busy acting career and family life was a challenge Hugh had to figure out. In an interview with Marie Claire, Hugh opened up about working on The Undoing in the US, expecting it to be a break from the chaos at home. I thought, "Oh, fantastic opportunity to get away from my screaming children," he said. But as soon as he got to New York, something unexpected happened. "I missed them so much. It was awful," Hugh shared. In fact, being away from his kids hit him so hard that nearly every scene he filmed made him cry. Can you imagine? The man who gave us so many iconic rom-com moments, tearing up over his kids while shooting a psychological thriller. Now, that's the heart of a true family man.
It's surprising that everyone was right all these years saying, "Hugh, why don't you have some children? It really changes your life." And you're thinking, "Oh, shut up." And now that I have to say it is quite life-changing. I recommend it.
But let's not forget, Hugh wasn't always this family guy. Back in the day, he was Hollywood's ultimate heartthrob, with a love life straight out of a rom-com. From scandalous flings to tabloid-worthy relationships, Hugh could give Casanova a run for his money. Hugh Grant has quite the list of women he has been with, dated, and everything in between. From the Sandra Bullock and Drew Barrymore and to many more, he has certainly kept himself busy over the years. There was one woman that captured Hugh's heart in 1987, and that was Elizabeth Hurley. The British actress was best known for her role as Vanessa Kensington in the Austin Powers International Man of Mystery. The pair met on a set, as per usual, and this sparked their 13-year-long, on-again, off-again romance that also pinned them as the tabloid's favorite couple. From the outside looking in, their relationship seemed pretty great, which is why what happened in 1995, 8 years into their relationship, was so shocking to the public. Grant had just finished filming 9 months. It was believed to be his next big gig after 4 weddings and a funeral, which put him on the map. He was doing many press conferences to promote the new film, and those brought him to LA. It was here that he was arrested along with 23-year-old sex worker Davine Brown.
I remember the night of the event calling my agent, who never says anything negative about anything. Everything's great. And I said, hi, Richard. So I've just been arrested with this hooker. Is that bad? And he said, oh, that's not great.
The scandal remains one of the most notorious celebrity stories of the 90s. The front pages of the tabloids read, Hugh and the Hooker, or Hugh Dirty Dog, and alongside his rather sheepish mugshot. After being arrested for lewd conduct, the actor was released on $250 bail. But what came after that was most surprising and memorable. Grant's decision to own up to his actions, get ahead of the story, and embrace what he did wrong was one of the greatest celebrity apologies ever. Many thought it would destroy his career, but instead, it boosted it. Fresh out of jail, the Bridget Jones actor released a statement. Last night I did something completely insane. I have hurt people I love and embarrassed people I work with. For both things, I am more sorry than I can ever possibly say, he said. His humility proved a success. The movie he was promoting made a ton of money, and his punishment was minimal. He had to pay a $1,000 fine, 2 years summary probation, and participation in an AIDS education program. If anything, his public image was better than ever. The no sex, please, were British trope, which Grant so often seemed to embrace, had been entirely suppressed. Davine's life was also changed for the better after the scandal. While she was undeniably used by the press and paid $100,000 by news outlets to describe the actor's penis, she was ultimately able to make a better life for herself. Nowadays, she lives in a home with a white picket fence and 2 kids. The scandal naturally jeopardized his relationship with Elizabeth, and the pair went their separate ways, but only after several months. They got back together under a year later, and then after 5 years, they split for good.
And, I mean, we've been apart for longer than we were together now, because we were together for 13 years, and then we've been best friends for 15. Quite nice.
After his split from Hurley, he went on to date Jemima Khan, and the pair even got engaged. Sadly, it didn't take long for their relationship to come crashing down. Hugh never really believed in marriage for many reasons. He felt as though he had too much career ahead of him, and a home life would keep him away from that. However, he always did say he would keep his thoughts open to the idea of settling down and breeding. I'm not a massive believer in marriage. I think it is a recipe for mutual misery, and there is something unromantic about marriage. You're closing yourself off. Do I think human beings are meant to be in 40-year-long monogamous, faithful relationships? No one's ever said that that's a good idea, he said. In 2011, Grant met Tinglan Hong. She had just graduated from university and was a receptionist at a Chinese restaurant. After their first meeting, Hugh made frequent visits to the restaurant, and they began dating. After dating for a few months, the couple decided to call it quits. No one knows why they split, but not long after, Tinglan discovered she was pregnant. Despite the separation, Hugh did everything possible to support the soon-to-be mother of his child and moved her into a $1.2 million house. The house was located less than a mile from his home. Hugh was about to welcome his first child at the tender age of 51. The kicker of this story is that he had met Anna Eberstein and began dating her around the time of his split from Tinglan. And Anna fell pregnant at around the same time as her. He moved his second baby mama into his house as the pair were still dating. Both the women welcomed their children in 2012. But then, Hugh had an affair with Tinglan, even though he was still with Anna, and she fell pregnant again. This made the actor a father of 3 in the space of 15 months. Despite the affair, Eberstein stayed with Grant and went on to have 2 more children with the actor. This made him a father of 5 in just 4 years. Even with his controversial views on marriage and kids, he now admits he was very incorrect. Hugh revealed how his perceptions of marriage and children have changed in recent years, saying, "Well, I was wrong. I was just plain wrong. And children, you know, I used to roll my eyes. People would say, "Oh, Hugh, you don't understand it." But they were right.
And you have a child now. Congratulations,
Thank
being
you.
a brand new dad.
Yeah, that's very nice. Very nice. It was, I can't pretend it wasn't a little bit of a surprise.
Right.
But it's a very nice surprise.
The actor said that having children was the nicest thing that ever happened to him. He loves to have them around and can't understand how he can love someone more than himself and have them love him back. The last remaining viewpoint the Sense and Sensibility actor had that he changed was marriage. In 2018, Anna and Hugh got married, but only for practical reasons, of course. Another surprising twist in this story is that Grant still remains friends with Liz Hurley, his ex-girlfriend that he cheated on with a prostitute. You remember.
Well, he remains my best friend to this day, but I mean, I'd say this if he was sitting here, he used to really annoy me. Actually. Yeah, I mean, I love him, but
Yes.
he's very annoying. Did he
Okay.
annoy you when he was here?
Despite the reasons behind their split, adultery and arrests, they are still close, and he's even the godfather of her son. I'm still extremely good friends with Hugh. We went through so much together. We haven't been romantically involved for 20 years, and we have such a strong friendship. But we're always very aware that there are other people in our lives. You can't just live in a lovely, rosy mist of the past. You have to move with the times and be very respectful of the present, which we are, she said. Well, isn't that sweet? Nowadays, Hugh Grant is living a private life with his 5 kids, his wife, and Tinglin Hong. He prefers to stay out of the spotlight even though his career was once his only priority. We are happy that he found happiness, and hopefully he has changed his womanizing ways, at least for his wife's sake.